Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 songs that will make you feel old. For this list, we'll be looking at the best examples of songs that will remind you of decades past and make you feel just about ancient. Let the nostalgia train begin. Did we forget one of your favourite songs? Let us know in the comments below. Number 10. I Kissed a Girl, Katy Perry. This was the single that started it all for Katy Perry, who caused considerable controversy for singing these 4 words. It wasn't that long ago that this kind of statement was condemned by news sources and some of the general public. I'm curious for you, caught my attention. Of course, this all happened years prior to her days judging on American Idol or singing Teenage Dream. You make me feel like I'm living teenage dream. Several social and cultural changes have occurred since the song's release that honestly make it seem like long-lost history. My head gets so confused, hard to obey. And it was an undeniably catchy song that started off a string of hits for the artist. Perry's lyrics were ahead of their time in celebrating the LGBTQ+ community and advocating for kissing whoever it is you want to kiss. I kissed a girl and I liked it. Number 9. Say My Name, Destiny's Child. Say My Name was an important single for the earth-shattering R&B group Destiny's Child. You acting kinda shady, ain't calling me baby. Why the sudden change? Say my name, say my name. The enjoyable track was released as the 3rd single off their album, The Writing's on the Wall. With a fierce statement about confronting a cheating partner, it topped the Billboard's Hot 100 and won 2 Grammys. Listeners from the late 1990s will remember that this hit was a game-changing success for the R&B genre. 1999 feels like ages ago, especially with songs like Say My Name, prepping the world for Beyoncé's solo career. It's pretty crazy to think of everything that the artist achieved since the release of this hit. Say my name, say my name. No one is around you. Baby, I love you. Call me your. Number 8. You Get What You Give, New Radicals. Singer-songwriter Greg Alexander masterminded the New Radicals and created their one and only studio album in 1998. They were primarily known for the throwback jam and hit single, You Get What You Give. Wake up, kids, we got the dreamer's disease. The track incorporates a number of pop culture references. Fashion shoes with Becky Hansen, Courtney Love and Marilyn Manson. And Alexander wrote it about being young and hoping for a better future. Don't give up, you got a reason to live. If the name-dropping lyrics didn't take you back to a different time, the music video certainly will. It stands as an encapsulation of the late 90s, with shopping malls and bucket hats galore. Number 7. All the Small Things, Blink-182. All the Small Things represented the popularity of pop punk in the early 2000s. Blink-182 was the band that carried the flag for the genre into the new century, and All the Small Things was among the catchiest radio hits of its era. All the small things, true care, truth brings. The hilarious music video took aim at the boy band craze of the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. Just hearing the chorus takes you back to the decade of black hair dye and baggy clothes. Late night, come home, work sucks, I know. Regardless of how old you were when the song first came out, it's impossible not to feel young again listening to Tom DeLonge belt the chorus. Say it ain't so, I will not go, turn the lights off, carry me home. Number 6. Smooth, Santana featuring Rob Thomas. With Smooth, Santana proved they were a multi-genre music icon. Some people may have never known about the band's appearance at Woodstock, but they definitely knew this hit. And it's a hot one, like 7 inches from the midday sun. It was also one of the most successful singles in history. The inclusion of Matchbox 20's Rob Thomas put the final stamp on its status as an almost millennium touchstone. But I'll tell you one thing. If you will leave, be a Their unlikely team-up was the chaotic experiment that only the late 1990s and early 2000s could have produced. Its #1 status helped the song reach crossover audiences for years after the release. Santana's rip-roaring guitar provided the sound for both boomers and millennials alike. Smooth might make us feel old, but it still rocks. Number 5. Dilemma. Nelly featuring Kelly Rowland. Dilemma calls back to the bygone era of heartfelt R&B ballads. Add to that combination of artists like Nelly and Kelly Rowland, and you got this 2000s classic. Love you, and I need you. At the time, rapper Nelly was rising fast, and singer Rowland was exploring her post-Destiny's Child career. There's something special about going back and listening to two stars at their peak.
I met this chick and she just moved right up the block for me, and she got the hots for me, the finest thing my hood has seen.
The hip-hop artist and his band-aid personified the next wave of rappers and R&B artists mixing with more pop sensibilities. Dilemma collected the best influences of the period and mashed them into a romantic time warp. Even when you were my boo, you know I'm crazy over you. Number 4. Wannabe. Spice Girls. The female group Spice Girls and their debut single Wannabe re-energized the pop scene. This smash hit single just makes the memories come flooding back. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. 90s kids never forget the first time the girl power anthem shook the world. Their original fanbase had kids of their own to introduce to this memorable music statement too.
What you think about that? Now you know how I feel.
During its prime, the song soared into the top of the Billboard Hot 100 as one of the biggest breakthroughs of the decade. The five women have since reunited through the years to remind everyone of their magical quality. Over 20 years later, this anthem still brings back all the joy of its first release.
If you wanna be my lover, you gotta get with my friends.
Number 3. 1,000 Miles. Vanessa Carlton. Vanessa Carlton's 1,000 Miles is one of the most 2000s sounding songs ever. It harkens back to a time of renowned singer-songwriters like Michelle Branch and Avril Lavigne.
Making my way downtown, walking fast, faces pass and I'm homebound.
The track's beautiful piano intro immediately transports listeners back to the first decade of the 21st century. Carlton did attempt to best this hit, but it always remained her most defining piece.
And I need you, and I miss you.
1,000 Miles was further immortalized by Terry Crews in White Chicks.
How did you know? I love this song!
Even then, the single was several years old and had been considered something of a modern classic. This open-hearted single gets the nostalgia flowing no matter how many times you listen to it.
I'd walk 1,000 miles and just see you.
Number 2. You Belong With Me. Taylor Swift. Believe it or not, Taylor Swift's You Belong With Me was only from her second album, Fearless, which won 2 Grammys.
I'm in the room, it's a typical Tuesday night.
It reached number 1 on the Billboard 200 charts and marked a major turning point for Swift's career, from country to pop music. Amazingly, You Belong With Me hasn't lost an ounce of its power, even after all these years.
Laughing on a park bench, thinking to myself, hey, isn't this easy?
It's hard to imagine that it's been over a decade since the track took the singer's career to another level. We still blast this in our rooms late at night, wishing we had a cute neighbour to write notes to.
You belong with me. You belong with me.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honourable mentions. Bad Day, Daniel Powter. Powter's catchy and ubiquitous hit is the ultimate 2005 pop statement.
Cause you had a bad day, you take one down, you sing a sad song just to turn it around.
Who Let the Dogs Out? Baha Men. There isn't a more iconic musical question to send us back to the early 2000s.
Who let the dogs out?
Let Me Love You, Mario. Mario's R&B love song still tugs at the heartstrings for 2000s kids, young and old.
Baby, you should let me love you, love you, love you.
1985, Bowling for Soup. This nostalgia fest will make you feel even older after realising even its references have aged.
She's still preoccupied with 1919.
girlfriend, Avril Lavigne. Lavigne's hold on 2000s pop punk reaches its peak with this huge hit.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Baby, Justin Bieber featuring Ludacris. Justin Bieber emerged from YouTube stardom to deliver this chart topper with Ludacris. The pop singer became an overnight phenomenon as a result.
You want my love, you want my heart, and we will never, ever, ever be apart.
Young girls screamed and their parents plugged their ears. Of course, it was much more complicated than that. Baby was the ultimate love it or hate it track for the 2000s. Bieber's status as a teen idol began here, in this commendable pop production. Regardless, the superstar only flew higher by the end of his first decade in the music industry. He also released the single when he was only 15 years old. If that doesn't make you feel old, we don't know what will.
Baby, baby, oh, like baby, no.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.